Good morning, Hawks. My name is Henry, and this is the Hawk News.
Today is Friday, February 19th, 2021. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As part of Black History Month, let's talk about segregation in schools. This is part one.
There are two different schools, and one is for Black people and another one is for white people.
Here in Alachua County, schools were once segregated just as this girl describes. Miss Brown, our executive assistant here at Bishop, talks about what it was like going to a segregated school.
Before integration, the thing was separate but equal, but it was not equal because the Black schools always got used books or used materials, whenever they got new books in. For the white schools, we got their old books, but our teachers were very, very good. So what our teachers did, especially when it came to history or what have you, is that they made sure that they brought in magazines so that we would have the same information by reading it in the magazines. They had mimeograph that they made copies of, so that we would have it, and then we would have to read it and answer the questions that they made up for us.
But in 1954, the Supreme Court ruled that segregation was unconstitutional. Clearly, separate was not equal. Stay tuned for part two to hear what happens next.
Today's lunch is a choice of ravioli marinara, fresh baked cheese pizza slice, or chicken bacon ranch salad.
And the sides are garden side salad, green beans, frozen fruit treat, or fresh fruit.
Segregation in schools, part two. Remember that in 1954, the Supreme Court ruled that separate but equal was unconstitutional. But many places, including Alachua County, thought they could get around mandated desegregation by building a brand new school for white students and a brand new school for Black students. That's why two new high schools opened in 1956, Gainesville High School and Lincoln High School, still separate and still not equal. The opposite of segregation is integration. This was not easy for white families or Black families.
Because some people might decide to fit in with the people of the opposite race, but some people might not feel comfortable around people that isn't part of their race.
Even though many white people thought integration was a good idea, it was still very difficult and dangerous to be the first Black students in an all-white school. In 1970, Alachua County School Board decided that the path to integration was to close the all-Black Lincoln High School.
But in Alachua County, I was at Lincoln High School, and Lincoln High School was our school. They closed it after the first semester. They closed it in January.
So Miss Brown's high school closed just months before she was to graduate. We'll find out what happens next in part three.
Now to Mr. Campbell for the rest of the announcements.
Good morning, Hawks. All right, as we like to say, it is Friday, the 19th. Easy, short 4-day week, right? Easy peasy. So let's jump into our news thing. Okay, first up to bat is congratulations to Warren Kraft. So far, so good. Warren is leading the school in the stock market game. He's one of Mr. McCoy's students that play the stock market game. So they learn all the ins and outs of the stock market, get a pile of not real money to use, I won't say play with, but invest and see how they turn out. So Warren is ahead of his nearest competitor here by over $1 million, according to Mr. McCoy. And he's second in the state overall, also placing in the top 10 in statewide competition so far is Ranger Smith, who I believe is in sixth place. So congratulations to these students. Can't wait to see where you turn out when it's all over. So I'm not sure for how long the competition runs, but we'll find out and keep you up to date. I was talking to Warren this morning, and he said he hit it big by selling short some stocks, which is a risky proposition. But hey, when it's other people's money, you don't have to worry about it, right? Way to go, Warren. Coming up today in our spotlight and Black History Month is behind me, Dr. Cullen Banks. So Dr. Banks is famous because he was the first African-American physician to gain admitting privileges to what was then the only really public hospital in Gainesville. That was Alachua General Hospital. Then he also became the first African-American doctor to have admitting privileges at North Florida Regional Hospital when that was built as well. You might say, yeah, what's the big deal? You know, if you're a doctor, you're a doctor, and you need, what are admitting privileges anyway? Well, if you don't have admitting privileges, then you can't check your patients into a hospital and see them there. So yeah, it's a real big deal because without admitting privileges, you could have all the great credentials in the world, be the world's greatest doctor, but you still don't get to use the hospital. So you don't get to do the best for your patients. So it's kind of a way to keep African-American doctors out of the profession, right? And guess what? His parents were also educators. He grew up in Orlando, got his medical degree from Howard University, practiced in Palatka for a little bit, and then at only the age of 25 years old, he came to Gainesville and started a family practice himself. I think he was primarily an obstetrician, delivering babies. His daughter said he was quite the joker, that throughout his life, people would come up to me and say, "Oh, Dr. Banks, you delivered me." And he'd step back, look at him and say, "Hey, you turned out pretty good. I'm gonna have to send you another bill." And he passed away in 2013 at the ripe old age of 88. The Banks house is right across the street from Lincoln Middle School on 11th Avenue, kind of a funky design. So they lived, right there amongst everybody. You never saw the inside of the house. Always looked really cool, and it's still there. Not sure who lives there now. But again, salute to Dr. Banks, a true pioneer here in Gainesville and working for the people. Okay, let's wrap up this Friday in good fashion by being kind to everyone all the time. It's easy to do. Work hard all 50 minutes, each and every one of your classes. Y'all are too smart to be doing the wrong things. Finally, give someone a compliment during the day. When you receive a compliment, look that person in the eye and say, thank you. Let's have a fantastic Friday, Hawks. Ciao.
Have a frugal Friday and go Hawks!